The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly, a silent ocean of stars. At the edge of the solar system, a fleet unlike anything ever seen in human history appeared. Gigantic alien warships, black and jagged, hovered in formation, their surfaces glowing with deadly energy. Alien commanders moved across their command bridges, voices sharp and filled with pride. "They call themselves humans," one commander sneered, his multi-eyed face twisting into a cruel smile. "Weak, primitive, worthless." Another laughed. "They do not even know we are coming. They will fall before we even reach Earth." Inside the bridge, the hum of alien technology vibrated in the air. Weapons charged slowly, each pulse of energy visible even from afar. The fleet was ready. Their target was clear. A tiny blue planet, filled with species they had always considered inferior. But something caught the attention of the alien sensors. A faint signal, small and almost invisible against the vastness of space. "What is this?" an officer asked, pointing at a tiny blip on the main screen. "Some interference?" "Impossible," replied the commander. "Earth cannot send anything this far. Dismiss it." The crew nodded, shrugging it off as a minor anomaly. They were confident. Nothing on Earth could threaten them. Hours passed, and the alien fleet drifted closer to the solar system. Yet the faint signals persisted. They were irregular, pulsing like a heartbeat. The officers studied them, curious but cautious. Then, suddenly, the blips multiplied. Small shapes moved across their sensors at impossible speed, darting here and there. The alien crew laughed at what they thought were tiny scout probes. "Pathetic," the commander said, leaning back in his chair. "Even their so-called technology is laughable. This is no threat." But deep inside, a small knot of doubt formed. These blips did not behave like normal probes. They were too fast, too precise. They moved with a strange rhythm that no alien craft had ever shown. Suddenly, one of the small blips disappeared from the screen, only to reappear behind one of the alien scout ships. Before anyone could react, the scout ship vanished in a flash of light. "What the?" a young officer shouted. Panic flickered in his eyes. The commander's laughter froze. "Impossible," he whispered. "How can something this small, this weak, destroy a ship in a single strike?" Another blip moved, faster this time. It dodged lasers, weaving between them with uncanny skill. The alien crew watched in stunned silence. Their weapons, their advanced technology, their centuries of experience, they could not hit it. "This is new," muttered an older officer, shaking his head. "I have never seen humans act like this." The commander slammed his fist on the console. "Stay calm. It is just a trick, a minor distraction. Focus on the fleet." But the blips continued. They were everywhere at once, tiny but unyielding. Alien ships that had been confident moments before now hesitated, unsure how to respond. On Earth no one noticed. People went about their lives, unaware that their home had just been discovered by a fleet that believed they were powerless. Yet, something ancient and hidden within human technology stirred. Something the aliens had never seen. Back in space, one of the alien commanders leaned forward, staring at the radar. "They are fast, faster than they should be. And coordinated, like they know our every move." The other commander narrowed his eyes. Could this be a trap? The first commander shook his head. "No, humans are weak. Nothing they do could threaten us. We control space. We control everything. They cannot fight us." But the doubts lingered. The tiny blips moved again, faster than ever. One of them vanished and reappeared right in front of a massive alien cruiser. There was a flash, a brilliant light, and the cruiser shuddered violently. Alarms blared. "Report," the commander barked. The officer's voice trembled. "It's gone. The cruiser, it has been destroyed." A tense silence filled the bridge. The commander's face, usually so full of confidence, paled. "Impossible," he whispered again. "This cannot be happening." Outside, the alien fleet continued its approach, unaware that they were no longer the hunters. They were being watched, outmaneuvered, and outsmarted by beings they had always thought weak. And from the shadows of the solar system, a signal pulsed brighter, growing stronger with every second. Something powerful, something they had never anticipated, was awakening. The aliens had believed humans were weak, but they were about to learn just how wrong they had been. And in that moment, the first battle of what would become the unexpected war had already begun. The alien fleet had expected an easy victory. They had mocked Earth for centuries, calling humans weak, primitive, and powerless. But the moment one of their massive cruisers vanished into the void of space, confidence turned into confusion. Inside the command bridge of the lead alien warship, Alarms blared loudly. Lights flashed red, painting the cold, metal walls in urgency. Alien officers scrambled, their multi-limbed hands flying across consoles. Every screen displayed a new blip moving faster than anything in their experience. "What are they?" one officer shouted, fear creeping into his voice. "These are not standard ships." The commander, a towering alien with jagged armor and eyes like burning coals, slammed his fists onto the console. "Focus," he roared. "They are small, yes, but coordinated. Track them. Destroy them." Outside, the tiny human ships darted through the blackness like sparks in a storm. They moved with impossible speed, weaving around the massive alien vessels with a grace that seemed almost alive. The human ships fired small, precise energy pulses, hitting alien drones, sensors, and small cruisers. Each strike caused explosions that illuminated the darkness like distant stars bursting into life. "Shields are failing on Cruiser 7, another officer screamed. They vanished and reappeared behind us." The commander's eyes narrowed. He had faced countless enemies before, species that had conquered entire systems, civilizations that had destroyed fleets without mercy. But none of them had moved like this. None of them had dared to challenge his authority with such speed and intelligence. "They are faster than logic allows," muttered a young officer, his voice shaking. "It's impossible." "Humans are weak," the commander shouted. "They cannot." Before he could finish, an explosion rocked the bridge. The entire ship shuddered violently and alarms blared louder. Another cruiser on the edge of the fleet had vanished, leaving nothing but a debris trail. The officers froze. For the first time, silence replaced the usual hum of confidence that filled the fleet. The commander's heart, or whatever pumped through his alien veins, pounded with unease. They are attacking with precision," one officer whispered. "How can such small ships destroy our vessels?" The commander took a deep, steadying breath. "We will adjust tactics. Form a defensive perimeter. Do not let them reach the main fleet." Outside, the human ships continued their assault. They were tiny, almost invisible to the naked eye, but each strike was calculated, intelligent, and deadly. The alien weapons, designed to obliterate planets, missed again and again. Each human ship vanished and reappeared, leaving alien gunners frustrated and exhausted. "They are everywhere," muttered the commander. "How can they coordinate like this?" Unknown to the aliens, the humans were not just attacking randomly. They were organized. Earth's fleet had spent decades in secret, preparing for this moment. Each ship knew its role, moving in harmony with others, striking weak points, and retreating before alien fire could hit. Back on the alien bridge, panic began to spread. Officers argued, blaming each other for failures. The commander's face, usually so confident, now showed tension and disbelief. "Deploy the heavy cannons," he ordered, trying to regain control. "Target every blip. Destroy them before they reach our core ships." But it was too late. One of the blips, a sleek and fast human craft, dodged through a barrage of energy fire and appeared directly above the alien command ship. With a flash, it fired a precise shot at the ship's main energy reactor. Alarms screamed as the reactor fluctuated, energy surging dangerously. The commander froze, staring at the display. "Impossible," he whispered. Another officer gasped. "The humans, they are attacking with strategy. It is not random. It is intelligence." "Yes," muttered a third officer. "We underestimated them. We thought they were weak. But they are powerful. And we do not understand them." As the alien fleet struggled to regroup, more human ships appeared, emerging from the shadows of asteroids and distant moons. Each one struck with precision, leaving trails of destruction in their wake. On Earth, in secret command centers, humans monitored the battle calmly. Screens showed the alien fleet, large and intimidating, but Earth's ships moved with unshakable focus. The humans had waited centuries, studied their enemy, and now they were finally ready to show the galaxy what they could do. Back in the alien bridge, the commander realized the truth. This was no ordinary resistance. Earth had been preparing. Humans were far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. "They are not weak," the commander admitted, voice low. "They are something else. Something we did not expect." The alien officers exchanged worried glances. For the first time, the invaders realized they were no longer in control. The hunter had become the hunted, and the galaxy was about to witness something that would change its history forever. And then, a pulse of strange energy appeared near the edge of the solar system. It was unlike anything the aliens had seen. It radiated power, intelligence, and a warning. "Commander, look at that," an officer said, trembling. The commander's eyes widened. The humans, they have a weapon. Something massive. Prepare for full engagement. All ships full power. But even as the aliens readied themselves, the humans continued their precise attacks, tiny ships moving faster than any alien technology could predict. The first major battle had begun, and the aliens were already losing. The unexpected war had only just started, and humanity was ready. The alien fleet had never faced an enemy like this. Their massive ships, weapons designed to annihilate worlds, now struggled to hit ships smaller than a city. The tiny human crafts danced through space, striking and vanishing, leaving trails of destruction behind. On the lead alien command ship, tension hung thick like smoke. Officers shouted orders, their voices mixing with the constant alarms. Red warning lights painted the metal walls as more cruisers and scouts exploded across the fleet. "They are everywhere," one officer cried, voice shaking. "Even our outer defenses are falling." The commander, usually calm and ruthless, paced back and forth, his claws tapping against the metal floor. "Concentrate fire," he barked. "Form defensive patterns. Use formation Alpha Zeta. We cannot allow these pests to reach the main fleet." But the humans had already studied their patterns. Each human ship anticipated the alien maneuvers, weaving between laser fire, dodging missiles, and striking weak points with deadly precision. One by one, alien cruisers began to lose shields, engines, and entire decks to coordinated human attacks. "They are not just fast, they are smart," muttered an officer, staring in disbelief at a holographic map. "They know our every move." The commander's eyes narrowed. "No, that is impossible. Humans are primitive. They cannot outthink centuries of war strategy." Suddenly, one human ship appeared directly above the command bridge, small but powerful. With a burst of energy, it fired at the alien ship's weapon core. The impact caused a massive explosion, shaking the ship violently. Panels fell, sparks flew, and alarms screamed even louder. "Shields failing," an officer shouted. "The humans, they are inside our defenses." The commander roared in frustration. "Deploy the heavy weapons. Fire everything we have." Outside, the alien fleet responded, launching every missile, energy beam, and drone at the human ships. But it was no use. The humans moved with an almost unnatural speed, vanishing and reappearing at impossible angles. Every strike missed, and every counterattack hit alien weak points with surgical precision. "They are coordinating," another officer muttered, eyes wide. "Like a single mind. They know exactly where we will strike next." Unknown to the aliens, the humans were following a carefully calculated plan. Years of observation, secret research, and advanced technology had prepared them for this moment. Every movement was strategic. Every attack was deliberate. And now the humans were testing the aliens' limits. On one edge of the battle, a small group of human dreadnoughts suddenly appeared from behind an asteroid belt. These massive ships dwarfed the alien scouts, their hulls shimmering with energy fields the aliens had never seen before. The dreadnoughts unleashed waves of concentrated fire, tearing through alien shields and reducing cruisers to rubble in seconds. The alien commanders stared in horror. What is this?" one cried. "This is not possible." The commander clenched his fists, his mind racing. "They have weapons we cannot match, and they are using them with precision. Evacuate the outer fleet. Focus on protecting the command ships." But even as they tried to regroup, the humans continued their assault. Tiny ships zipped between the larger ones, targeting critical points. Dreadnoughts fired again and again, each shot obliterating alien vessels that had once seemed invincible. In the command bridge, officers panicked. Some tried to retreat, others fought desperately, but the humans anticipated every move. It was as if they could see the future, predicting alien tactics before they were executed. "They are controlling the battle," whispered one officer. "We cannot." The commander slammed his fists onto the console, rage and disbelief filling him. "No, humans are weak. They cannot." Another explosion rocked the ship, cutting him off. The lights flickered, the floor trembled, and alarms screamed louder than ever. The alien fleet was faltering. Far above, in the depths of space, the pulse of strange energy grew stronger. The aliens had already lost several key cruisers, and the humans' secret weapon was about to reveal itself fully. "They are preparing something," muttered an officer, fear evident in his voice. "And it is not small, it is massive." The commander's eyes widened. He had thought humans were primitive, but now he saw the truth. They were far beyond anything he had expected. This was not a weak species fighting for survival, they were a calculated, unstoppable force. Outside the command ship, the remaining alien fleet tried to form a defensive perimeter, but it was too late. The humans were everywhere, striking from every angle, vanishing into the darkness, and reappearing where the aliens least expected. The first major losses had shaken the fleet. Entire squadrons had vanished, their energy cores reduced to nothing. Alien soldiers trembled at the sight of tiny ships causing destruction on such a massive scale. The commander's voice trembled as he ordered retreat. Pull back. Regroup. This cannot be happening. But it was already too late. Humans controlled the battle now. Every move of the alien fleet seemed predicted, every attack anticipated. The war that the aliens had thought would be a simple conquest was turning into a nightmare. And somewhere beyond the battlefield, a new human signal pulsed stronger than ever. It was massive, strange, and full of power. The aliens did not yet understand it, but they would soon. The humans had already claimed the edge of space, and the aliens were beginning to realize a terrifying truth. They had underestimated humanity. They had believed humans were weak. They were dead wrong. The alien fleet was in chaos. Their massive ships, once symbols of ultimate power, now trembled under relentless attacks from the tiny human ships. Explosions lit up the blackness of space like miniature suns. The once proud alien commanders now struggled to maintain control. Inside the command bridge of the lead alien ship, officers shouted orders frantically. Alarms screamed as the hull shook violently from repeated strikes. The commander's face, usually calm and confident, was pale with disbelief. They are too fast. Our weapons cannot hit them, an officer cried. They are everywhere, another shouted. Even our long-range cannons miss. The commander's eyes narrowed. Focus, he barked. We cannot allow them to reach the main fleet. Deploy drones. Fire all energy beams. But even as orders were given, the humans continued their assault with frightening precision. The tiny ships zipped between alien cruisers, striking critical systems before vanishing again into the darkness. And then, the humans revealed something the aliens had never expected. From the edge of an asteroid belt, massive human dreadnoughts emerged. These were no ordinary ships. Towering and sleek, they pulsed with strange energy. Shields shimmered like molten silver, absorbing attacks that would have destroyed any alien cruiser in seconds. The alien officers froze. What is that? One whispered, voice trembling. It cannot be, humans cannot build such ships, another stammered. The commander's jaw tightened. They were hiding them, all this time. Every human ship we have destroyed until now was just a distraction. The humans had orchestrated a master plan. While the tiny ships engaged the alien fleet, the dreadnoughts advanced silently, striking from unexpected angles. Energy beams, pulsing with raw power, tore through alien shields and hulls alike. A massive cruiser disintegrated in seconds, leaving only a trail of burning debris. Impossible, screamed an officer. Our weapons, nothing works. The commander slammed his claws against the console, his voice booming. Concentrate fire. Focus on the dreadnoughts. But the humans were prepared. They moved as one, each ship complementing the other's attacks. The dreadnoughts fired in perfect synchronization, each blast calculated to hit the most vulnerable point on an alien vessel. The alien fleet, once proud and confident, began to scatter in fear. On the outskirts of the battlefield, small human ships continued their relentless assault. They darted between the dreadnoughts and the alien cruisers, striking sensors, engines, and weapon systems with perfect accuracy. Every alien attempt to counter them failed. The commander realized the truth: humans had studied their fleet for decades. Every maneuver, every weapon, every weakness had been calculated. This was not chaos. This was strategy. This was intelligence far beyond what the aliens had expected. They planned this, muttered an officer, voice barely audible. We underestimated them. The commander's eyes burned with frustration. No, humans are weak. We can still fight. Focus on their leader. Destroy their dreadnoughts first. But before they could act, the pulse of strange energy from near the solar system grew stronger. It was massive, overwhelming, and full of a power the aliens could barely comprehend. The alien commanders stared at their displays in horror. What is that? One asked. It is enormous. Humans, they have something we cannot see, and it is ready, another whispered. The dreadnoughts moved forward, their energy shields now glowing brighter than ever. With one synchronized pulse, they fired at the heart of the alien fleet. Explosions rippled across space, tearing through massive cruisers, scattering smaller ships like leaves in a storm. The aliens panicked. They had never faced an enemy capable of such power, such speed, such precision. The entire fleet was faltering. Commanders shouted orders, but every attempt to regroup or counterattack failed. They are not weak," muttered one officer, trembling. "They are unstoppable." The commander's face twisted with anger and disbelief. "No, humans are weak. They cannot destroy a fleet of this size." But deep down even he felt the truth. Every strike, every maneuver, every ship revealed a species far beyond what they had imagined. Humans were not just survivors, they were warriors, strategists, and engineers all at once. They controlled the battlefield in ways no alien species had ever done before. Outside, the solar system shone brighter with each pulse of human energy. The aliens had entered expecting conquest, but instead they faced annihilation. The humans had unleashed their full power, and it was only the beginning. On the bridge, the commander's claws trembled as he stared at the devastation. Prepare for retreat," he whispered. "We cannot win." But it was too late. The humans had claimed the upper hand. The alien fleet was scattered, weakened, and terrified. The unexpected war had turned, and humanity had revealed a force the galaxy would never forget. The pulse of energy continued to grow, shining like a beacon in the darkness. Somewhere, unseen by the aliens, Earth's fleet readied the next strike. The humans had not finished. They were just beginning. The aliens had believed humans were weak. They were dead wrong. The alien fleet had suffered heavy losses. Their once proud cruisers lay in ruins, drifting silently through the black void of space. Officers shouted orders, but panic had replaced discipline. The fleet was fractured, weak, and unsure of how to fight the humans. Inside the lead command ship, alarms blared as officers pointed at failing systems. Smoke drifted across the control room and red warning lights flickered. The commander's claws clenched tightly, shaking with frustration. "They are everywhere," an officer screamed. "Even our strongest cruisers are falling." "They are attacking with strategy," another cried. "Every move is predicted." The commander took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing mind. "Focus," he barked. "We may have lost ships, but we can still fight. Target their dreadnoughts. If we destroy their leaders, the rest will scatter." Outside, the humans moved like a single organism. Tiny ships darted through space, striking alien weak points with deadly precision. Dreadnoughts fired in perfect synchronization, blasting apart massive alien cruisers with energy beams that could cut through steel like paper. One alien cruiser tried to counterattack, unleashing a barrage of missiles at a human dreadnought. But the human ship twisted and vanished into the darkness, only to reappear behind another alien ship. With a flash of light, the cruiser exploded in a shower of sparks and debris. "They are too fast. Too smart," muttered an officer, voice trembling. "We cannot hit them." The commander's eyes narrowed. "They are not just fast, they are coordinated. Like a single mind controlling the battle." Humans had planned this war for decades. Every strike, every movement, every retreat was calculated. Tiny ships engaged the alien fleet first, drawing their attention, while the dreadnoughts prepared the decisive strike. The aliens had no idea what was coming. From a distance, a strange pulse of energy began to grow near Earth. It was massive, bright, and full of power the aliens could not understand. The alien commanders stared in disbelief at their displays. "What is that?" one whispered. "They are hiding something," muttered another. "Something huge." The commander's claws slammed against the console. "We cannot allow it to activate. Concentrate fire on that area." But the humans were ready. With perfect timing, the dreadnoughts unleashed a wave of energy so strong it pierced through the alien fleet's strongest shields. Alien ships shuddered, their hulls torn apart, engines failing instantly. A cruiser that had once seemed indestructible now drifted in pieces, burning in the void. The aliens tried to retreat, but the humans anticipated their movements. Tiny ships blocked escape routes, striking at engines and weapons, making sure no cruiser could flee intact. They have cut off our retreat," an officer screamed. "They are controlling the battlefield," another shouted, fear evident in his voice. The commander gritted his teeth. "No, humans are weak. We can still." Before he could finish, a human dreadnought fired directly at the command ship. The massive energy beam struck the hull, sending shockwaves through the ship. Sparks flew, systems failed, and the floor trembled violently. "Shields are failing," shouted an officer. "We cannot hold." The commander's face twisted with rage and disbelief. "Prepare for retreat," he muttered, his voice almost inaudible. We cannot win this. The humans did not stop. Tiny ships darted between the larger vessels, striking sensors, engines and weapon systems with unerring precision. Dreadnoughts fired again and again, reducing alien cruisers to nothing in moments. The alien fleet was shattered. Panic spread as ships tried to regroup, but humans anticipated every move. Every attack, every escape route, every weak point had been studied and exploited. And then, a massive human signal pulsed from the edge of the solar system. It was bright, overwhelming, and full of energy. Alien sensors struggled to read it, alarms blaring louder than ever. The signal grew, pulsing like a heartbeat, sending waves of fear through the alien commanders. They have a weapon, one officer whispered. Something massive. We cannot survive this. The commander's voice trembled. Prepare to retreat, all ships. But even retreat was impossible. The humans had cut off escape routes, striking with precision that left no room for error. Every cruiser that tried to flee was destroyed, every maneuver anticipated. From Earth the humans watched calmly. Every move of the alien fleet was visible on their screens. Every attack, every retreat, every desperate attempt to regroup was part of a larger plan. And that plan was working perfectly. The alien fleet was in ruins. Ships drifted in pieces, explosions lighting up the darkness like distant stars. Officers and commanders trembled at the sight of a species they had long considered weak. Humans had turned the battlefield into their own, using strategy, intelligence, and hidden weapons to dominate a fleet far larger and more advanced than their own. The aliens had believed humans were weak. They had been dead wrong. And as the pulse of energy continued to grow, shining like a beacon across the solar system, one thing was clear: humanity had not finished. The final battle was over. The alien fleet was broken. But the war for the galaxy had only just begun. The alien fleet was shattered. Their once mighty cruisers floated in ruins, drifting silently through the black emptiness of space. Officers shouted frantic orders, but panic had replaced strategy. The invaders had underestimated Earth, and now they were paying the price. Inside the lead command ship, the commander gripped his console, claws shaking. The alarms were deafening. Smoke drifted through the room as systems failed one by one. His eyes, once full of pride and arrogance, now reflected fear. They are everywhere, one officer whispered, voice trembling. Our ships, our fleet, it is gone. They move with intelligence, with purpose, another said, pointing at the main screen. They know our every move before we make it. The commander tried to stand tall. No, humans are weak. We can fight, we can still. A massive flash of light interrupted him. One of Earth's dreadnoughts, glowing with pure energy, fired a concentrated beam at the alien command ship. The impact sent shockwaves through the hull. Sparks flew, consoles shattered, and the floor trembled violently. Shields are failing, shouted an officer. We cannot hold it. Outside, tiny human ships darted through the void, striking engines, weapons, and critical systems. Each movement was precise. Every attack calculated. Nothing the aliens tried could stop them. The remaining alien cruisers attempted to retreat, but humans had anticipated their every path. Energy beams and missiles cut off escape routes. The fleet, once confident and unstoppable, was now trapped in a carefully constructed trap. They have cut off our escape, one officer cried. We cannot leave. The commander's claws clenched tightly. Rage, fear, and disbelief churned within him. Prepare for evacuation, he whispered, voice barely audible. We cannot survive this. From Earth, humans monitored every move. Calm, focused, and determined, they watched the alien fleet crumble. Their strategy, planned for decades, had been executed perfectly. Every ship knew its role. Every strike was timed to perfection. Then, the massive energy pulse from near the solar system reached its peak. It spread outward like a tide, enveloping the remaining alien fleet. Ships caught in the wave were immobilized, their shields overloaded, engines failing instantly. The pulse pulsed stronger, faster, leaving the aliens defenseless. They have a weapon, an officer screamed, eyes wide with terror. Something massive, we cannot survive it. The commander sank into his chair, his mind racing. For the first time he understood the truth. Humans were not just resilient, they were unstoppable. Every prediction, every calculation, every assumption he had made about Earth had been wrong. Humans were far beyond what he had imagined. Outside, human dreadnoughts moved in perfect synchronization. Tiny ships continued to strike with precision, ensuring no alien vessel could escape. One by one, cruisers and scouts exploded, reduced to fragments that floated silently in the void. The alien fleet was finished. Silence replaced the chaos, broken only by distant explosions and the hum of dying engines. The remaining officers stared at the devastation, unable to comprehend what had happened. They have won, whispered one. The commander's voice was hoarse. Humans, they are not weak. They are a force unlike any we have ever faced. And then, from the edge of the solar system, a single signal pulsed. Strong, steady, and full of energy. It was not just a weapon, it was a message. Humans had not only defended their home, they had declared their dominance. Attention, galaxy, a human voice echoed across communications, clear and commanding. You underestimated us. You believed we were weak. You were dead wrong. This is only the beginning. The alien commanders looked at each other in silence. Their arrogance, their pride, their sense of superiority, all shattered. The humans had proven that strength was not measured by size, numbers, or technology alone. It was measured by intelligence, courage, and unity. From Earth, the humans watched as the remnants of the alien fleet fled into the distance. Their home was safe. Their planet was defended. And their presence in space had been announced to the entire galaxy. Yet, even in victory, humans remained vigilant. The pulse of energy continued to radiate, a warning and a promise. Humanity had awakened fully, and the galaxy would never forget the day the weak became the strongest. The aliens had believed humans were weak. They had been dead wrong. And as the human fleet returned to orbit, preparing for the next challenge, one truth was clear. Humanity had claimed its place in the stars. The unexpected war was over, for now. But the galaxy had learned something that could never be ignored. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were masters of space. And any who dared challenge them would soon regret it.